Welcome to episodes 12 of Sticks and Stones podcast. I'm Sue.
I'm Julia.
And we're here to show you how to rock.
All right.
On this episode of Sticks and Stones, we'll catch you up on what we've been working on. Julia's been knitting away and she finally finished her sweater. Sue made a new fall wreath. And for our DIY project, we're going to show you a roundup of different things to do with rocks. Hi, I'm Sue.
I'm Julia.
Welcome to Sticks and Stones.
Today we've got lots of things to show you. I think it's going to be kind of a fun day.
I hope so.
Well, what do you have for us today?
Well, I have been working on this wreath. This is one of the many things that's been an idea for years. And I finally sat down and did it. I had started it last year.
That's cool.
And these are all different nuts and seeds that I have picked up over the years.
How many years have you been collecting?
Well, you know, some of these probably from when my daughter, who's 9, was in a stroller and we would walk around the neighborhood. And unfortunately, all of my family we're pickers. Mm-hmm. Every time we go somewhere, we have to pick things up off the ground, and we just keep them. And I actually have a box that's labeled nuts and seeds that just has nuts and seeds in it. I'm not sure if I'm the nut or the seed.
These are cool though.
But these are all different things. Yeah, I like these best. I want to make a wreath now of these. These are the seed pods from a beech nut tree.
Yeah, those are really neat.
And so from doing all this, I can tell you where most of these came from, and I know in our neighborhood where every hemlock tree is, where every horse chestnut is, where every acorn tree is. I guess that would be an oak. So anyway, I'm putting this on my door.
That'll be fun.
And so I just covered a wreath with Spanish moss and raffia, and then I hot glued all the stuff on. And recently somewhere I saw this tip that, you know, when you hot glue, you get all those strings of glue and you're constantly pulling them off. You just take a hairdryer and you dry the whole thing with the hairdryer.
That's a great
on
idea.
High heat, and it melts all those little things. And then when you get like a blob of glue, like there's one here, a little blob of glue that you really didn't want there, it heats it up and melts it a little bit so you can pull it off.
Cool.
So anyway,
well, that's a really neat wreath.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be on my my door for fall. And I also made this today. I whipped it up on the way home because the leaves are starting to change already. This was another thing I saw online somewhere. It's very short right now, but as we keep picking up leaves, because we pick up leaves too, you just sew them through the sewing machine, and then they turn brown eventually. So it's just a neat little leaf garland that is really inexpensive because you just use leaves that you pick up, and so
those are great colors too. I really love the fall.
I do too.
I can't wait for
it. And I'm like ready for
change.
it, and it's not really here yet. We could have Indian summer. It's still really humid actually. And I made some gifts, but I gave them away. I made a necklace for my sister-in-law where I stamped the initials of her children and put their birthstones, 2 of her children being her dogs. I forgot the cat though. I have to make one for the cat.
Oh no.
And I did make one for my niece too, but and then for my mom I made her a butterfly bag. It's a bag and it's butterfly fabric that I got at Hobby Lobby.
We'll show you some pictures.
Yes.
Magic.
So what about you? What have you been finishing? You finished your sweater?
I finished my sweater. See, there's the I'll scoot around.
Is it twisted?
It's not twisted. Only me. Only my head is twisted upside down some days. But no, I could not be happier.
It's really beautiful.
It fits me. It's soft. It blocked really well, and I had that much yarn left.
What are you gonna do with it?
Well, nothing. It's gonna go probably in my little ball or my basket of yarn balls that I have.
I have something we could do with that during the DIY.
Woo! No, I was really, really worried because I only had 3 skeins. I had slightly under 1,200 yards of yarn. And according to the pattern, I was going to need almost exactly 1,200 yards. And so I was worried that I was not going to have enough and that it was going to look funny and I was going to have to put a different color at the bottom or something. And I got it.
I think you should make a bracelet out of that with little brown beads.
That's a good idea.
Little brown or tan beads.
That could be really pretty, actually.
I think that would be really gorgeous with that color. Maybe a crocheted bracelet or a knitted bracelet.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I'll have to see if I can figure that out
next week.
I don't know. Now that I'm not working on the sweater anymore, but But
you
no,
had nothing to do.
I tell you, I am so excited that
It's really,
that it's finally
really,
done.
really beautiful.
So,
I mean, it would still go really good with those gloves. I should have brought the gloves out. But I'm just kidding.
If you really need to borrow it, I think we can make an arrangement.
borrow it. No, I would not even think, because I'd be so afraid I would dump like red wine or tomato sauce or
gosh.
something on it.
Well, this I think is the first sweater I've ever made that my husband has said, "Wow, it looks really good on you," and I was like. Plus, he bought me the yarn, so you know I already knew he liked that part. But normally, I make things that are really thick and good for winter and they're also faster because the yarn is thicker, you know. And this is the first one I've made with this size yarn, and I'm just thrilled. So.
And so this was this hand dyed yarn or what was it?
Yeah, it's hand painted.
Yeah, you can see the different color variations in it.
And I had to alternate the skeins. I had the 3 different skeins, and so as I went along, I had to alternate them so there wasn't a line of because even with a same dye lot with a hand painted yarn, you might get enough variation in color that you can see a mark between 2 skeins. So just a tip for you guys if you didn't know, when you're using a hand painted, alternate 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows with 2 or 3 different skeins so that you don't have that distinct
Isn't that
line.
hard to do?
No, you just pull the yarn up the side as you're going, and just pick it up and go up to the next row with
Someday I'll know about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I think that everybody in this neighborhood will know me by my sweater because I'll probably wear it for the next like 3 weeks straight. So that was a big thing, and then I've been kind of finishing up projects. I've had a lot of socks lying around for years that I've only done one. So I finished, this was my daughter's Christmas socks from last year. I finally finished the second one. I gave her one at Christmas, and now she gets the other.
She gets the other one for this Christmas?
No, she's just gonna.
You should. That would be hilarious.
Oh, she'd be so upset with me. So now my only concern is that her feet have grown since last Christmas.
well,
so will
they
it
kinda
fit?
stretch,
They
don't
do
they?
stretch. So these are called raindrop socks, and I'll post links to all these patterns so you guys can have them. But there's that, and then I finished. These are called Dune Grass, and I started these 3 years ago in Virginia. I bought the yarn special so I could remember my vacation in Virginia, and made the first sock and didn't get around to the second one. So finally I did the second one, and now this is pretty funny because if you can look closely, they're different colors because this one's been sitting out and this one was in a ball.
Really?
So this is
It
faded
that much?
in 3 years. It faded.
I mean,
enough.
you won't notice when it's on 2
No.
different feet, but...
Yeah.
And you could always say, well, it's also just... Because, I mean, the variations are
Yeah.
different because it's...
But they're fun. I really do like them. They're a really pretty pattern, and the pattern is called Dune Grass, which I thought was kind of good for having a pair from the beach. So 3 years later, they are finished, and will go on my feet, and I'm going to love them.
Do you take those metal things out, or do you wear them with those?
That would be a little uncomfortable.
I'm kidding. Do you just use those to block
To
them?
block them, yeah, and it keeps them. It puts them in shape. Plus, it's easier, I think, like for something like this, for me to show you the sock like that rather than smushed like this. So these are relatively inexpensive. I got these I think for $20 if people are looking for sock blockers. These work very well.
Sock blockers.
Sock blockers, that's what they're
Oh
called.
my gosh.
And then yesterday I found a real deal on some funky yarn at my local yarn shop. I was teaching a class and they had this on sale. And the funny thing about it is the yarn is called Mushishi. And I bought it mainly because I have a very good friend from where we used to live that when my son was a baby called her Mushishi. Her name is Marcy. And he, for whatever reason, turned it into Mushishi. So I bought this yarn because it reminded me of her and of all things in the world to have two experiences with.
Right.
So I got this. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. It's almost 500 yards of pretty thick yarn. So I don't know. I'll have to think of something good. But
Fun.
that was my big purchase from yesterday.
So speaking of yarn,
Yeah.
you're always talking about how you're winning yarn, and I wanted to win
Did
yarn
you?
because, I just want to win yarn too.
You want to be like me?
I want to be like you. And actually, I didn't win it. My daughter did.
Oh.
This is from the 4-H roundup. She's in 4-H, and so the 4-H fair for Northampton County was last month, and she saved her money for the silent auction. And when she went, there wasn't like a whole lot of things that she really wanted, but there was this one bag of yarn. There was actually 4 skeins, but she took one that she's using right now. And so 4 skeins, 3 of them are wool, and 1 of them is cotton polyester.
Okay.
And I said, Jordan, you need to bid on this because the bid was only like $3. So she ended up bidding $5 and getting 4 skeins of yarns. And I was like, you have no idea. It's wool yarn. You got a deal. And 2 of them are the same color. So she could potentially, she's a budding knitter. My mom has been teaching her how to knit. But, so anyway, so we won yarn finally.
And this is local.
Yes,
really cool.
This is from Kramer Yarn. So, yes, we're very excited about that. So, it was one of those things, it was a silent auction, and it was kind of crammed between 2 things, so I think not many people saw it. There was like these big baskets of things, and then there was just this little thing, and I was like, bid on that, nobody sees it. And in fact, when we went to collect the prize, the woman said, hey, I didn't even see this. I would have bid on it.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah, this is really pretty.
It is. And the other one's a little blue color. So, I mean, she's not making big sweaters or anything, so this is perfect for her.
She can felt with this one.
Yep. Both of these, and this one too. This one's 100% domestic wool too. And then the other one is cotton polyester, so you can, and actually I think there's some merino in it. It's a washable wool.
Okay.
So she started, I think, knitting a scarf with that. So
that's fun. I love to win yarn.
Yeah, so I was excited for her, and now we can be like you.
Yay! Everybody wants to be like.
All right, so with your ball of yarn,
with my ball of yarn,
you can. Where's our rock? Do something fun with rocks.
We can.
That's what we're going to talk about today in our DIY.
All right,
stay with us.
Be right back.
For today's DIY section, we're actually going to do a roundup, and we're going to talk about rocks.
Yeah, lots of rocks.
Lots of rocks. So my family has a rock picking problem. Wherever we go, we're always picking up rocks. In fact, we have such a problem that we have little bags for them. I made these for my kids many moons ago because, you know, you go for a walk and next thing you know you're carrying like 3 sticks and a feather and like 16 acorns.
Those are fun.
And so they're just made out of cargo pants. They might be a little small for you.
You know, it's worth a try.
Actually, I have to make them longer because they're bigger now, so I have to make the straps longer for them.
That makes sense.
But anyway, so we're collectors, all of us, even my husband, and we're always collecting rocks. And so, like I said, I've been on a mission to find ways to do something with them, because otherwise they end up in a box and I don't do anything with them and they just sit there.
That's a good rhyme. A box of rocks.
Yes, but it just takes up space in my house. But it is a good run. So I've been all over the internet and Pinterest and all kinds of places looking for fun things to do with rocks.
All right.
So the first and the most obvious one is a field of vase. And we have collected all of these things. And it's all kinds of stuff. It's shells, it's rocks, it's sea glass. This is, I think, a piece of a boat.
Yeah. It's a good color. It's really neat.
Yeah, and it has a neat pattern on it. So I just filled this vase, and I tried to layer it, but because of the shape of the vase, it didn't really work on layering. But it's fun because then you get to see all the different things that we've collected. So these are for, you know, sometimes you collect rocks because you like the way they look. Like this one is really neat. It has all these little holes in it. Although I do think about making little clay worms to stick out of the holes. But then sometimes you pick rocks because of their shape.
Yeah.
And so we have some ideas like this yarn wrap one. And this is something that I saw recently in the August issue of Family Fun.
Okay.
And this would be fun to do with kids, I think. I used hot glue gun for this. They suggest using tacky glue. I think for kids you might need to use Elmer's glue.
I would think so.
Although they're not going to look as pretty as in the picture because you do get the glue on the yarn.
Right.
And so
that's fun though.
Yeah. But I wouldn't spend all my days wrapping rocks with yarn. But do you have any ideas?
Well, I wrapped a rock with yarn. I did a little looking, and I've seen these before. It's kind of a rock cozy, which I think is kind of funny. My kids made me make apple cozies for them to take to school this year, and I always just thought the concept of a cozy for something like that was kind of silly, but in fact they do work. They do keep the apples from being bruised. So I suppose if you're, not that you have to worry about a rock from being bruised. But this one actually, I got this this pattern. I'll just look it up real quick. It's from Pearl Bee, and it's free, and it's supposed to simulate the look of a sea urchin. So I suppose if you wanted to decorate a bathroom or something in an ocean theme, but you didn't have all of your accessories. In the meantime, you could crochet this and make them look like sea urchins. And they had patterns on Crochet Today and on simplynotable.com that were also free for something similar to this. So this took me maybe half an hour, and I'm not a fantastic crocheter, and it turned out kind of cute.
It's cute.
Yeah, I haven't, it's something, if you have a free moment and you like the ocean and you like that look, then this might be a fun thing for you to try. So, yeah, so I made a rock urchin today.
Fun.
And, and I also did this. This is another thing I found on, I found it on Pinterest, but I believe Daily Danny is the link that it originally came from. And it's just a rock. Woo, there it goes. Mine is not terribly sturdy. A rock with a piece of wire wrapped around it, and then you spiral at the top, and it creates a card holder. You can use it for postcards or pictures, or mine's a business card.
That's neat, because I like that you can still see the rock. So you can use a really pretty rock that has different colors and inclusions and stuff in it.
Yeah, so this is a real simple thing too. And they also had a picture of this and a tutorial on paintcutpaste.com. So a couple things that you guys could try if you wanted to play with rocks.
But yeah, the obvious thing is to paint them. These were painted and basically prepped so that the kids could paint something on them. I've painted a couple of things on different ones, like this one. This one actually looks realistic.
Yeah,
it looks like a barred owl. That one kind of looks like a cartoon character. But I use these sometimes when I go to craft shows and I do my show. I use these to hold down all the things that can fly away.
Oh, yeah.
And people love them. They're always trying to buy the rocks, but
If
I
you
won't
should go
sell
into
them.
the rock business. Well, I was playing around a little bit too, and I actually used tattoos, like skin water soluble tattoos, and stuck them on this rock. And I bet kids would have a lot of fun with something like this.
Yes. The other thing you can have fun with is permanent markers like these, and just do a little design on it. That I think would be fun. Like you could take the markers to the beach with you. And whether you're at the beach or a lake or whatever, and it's a fun afternoon activity. You don't necessarily have to like bring them home and sit down and do it the way you would have to do with painting, where you have to paint them. And so there's a woman named Janine who does some amazing rocks that I think I'm not sure if she paints them or not. She does little watercolors of birds, and so we'll put a link to her Etsy shop, where she does just amazing rocks that are beautiful. So, anything else? Oh, I also drilled rocks. I drilled holes in them, and I made a necklace.
Oh, yeah.
With some rocks. And, of course, I winged it, which is I'm prone to do with everything. And so I used a drill bit that I had, because I couldn't find a diamond drill bit at the hardware store yesterday, because I didn't go to the right hardware store. It worked. These are sedimentary rocks or sandstone. You can feel the sand in them.
Yeah.
If you use something harder, it wouldn't work. And the bad part about using just a regular drill bit, besides the fact that you dull it really quickly, is it kind of punches out the back, so it doesn't keep it smooth. So really you do need to use a diamond drill bit, and there's a woman named, I forgot her name, I have to look it up. Her name is Jenny Hoople, and she does rock jewelry like this, and she suggested grabbing some diamond bits from Rio Grande, where they have a set of them, and then they make a bigger hole.
That's really cool.
And they're hollow. So.
Nice, and it is nice, and I expected it to be more jagged, but it's very round, and it would look really nice as a pendant or something. Now you could also wrap wire around a rock if you wanted to attach it to a chain or something, right?
Definitely, yeah, you can wrap wire. I find it difficult to wrap round rocks.
Okay.
It's easier to wrap ones that have angles, because there's stuff for the wire to grab onto. You can make a cage, and you really need to just wrap the wire and make the cage, and then put the rock in it and wrap it around.
Okay.
Where if you have an angular rock, more like this, you can kind of start in the middle and work around it, and like maybe take the wire around here and then across, and you can kind of freehand it more.
Okay.
Then with the round ones, you got to make a cage, or else you're trying to keep it on down here while you're wrapping it up here, and everything falls apart. So that's why I'd rather drill holes, because they stay that way.
And with a lot of these things, they should be used inside, so because the paint or the marker might be water soluble, so you want to be sure to, if you're going to use it outside, to shellac it or put varnish or something on top before you leave it to the elements, or your project may fall apart.
So I think that's about it for today.
Yeah, we're going to draw some rocks.
Yeah, so if you'd like to join us, grab some markers.
Ooh.
And throw them on the ground, pick them back up.
What are these? These are just regular permanent markers?
Yeah, I just bought these because they were on sale.
Okay.
These are Bic fine point markers. Usually I use Sharpie. I'm such a Sharpie girl. I love Sharpies. But I just bought these, and that's what I drew on with this one. And so you can use any kind of permanent marker because it'll stay on.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can create.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for this episode of Sticks and Stones Podcast. You can visit us at sticksandstonespodcast.wordpress.com, or either of us on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or
Or Ravelry. We have a Ravelry group. Oh, and as we're speaking about it, the Square Knit Along is a go. So I have a thread up in the Ravelry group. If you'd like to join in, please come and let me know. Let me know what kind of stitches you might want to work on. I thought we'd do an easy square and a more advanced square, and we'll get that going for the I don't have a start date yet, but check the board and I will give you all the details for start dates, and we'll go from there. So I hope to have lots of people knitting along with me.
So this means I have to knit, huh?
If you really want to.
I will try. I will try to knit along.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I'm making a bug.
A bug! So, all right. So, thanks again.
Have a great day.
Bye.
What are you going to make?
I don't know. I'm going to make a sunflower
Nice.
of some sort.
We need more permanent marker colors.
That actually looks more like a sun than a sunflower, but that's okay.
You need the black one. Give it some petals. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe I'll just do a design.
That's a
I will
thought.
be aboriginal.
Oh, that's cute.